That was amazing. Sorry,
Good, yeah. Oh, do it again. Okay.
All of it's great.
That's not nice, I'm recording.
Dramatic look of lights.
It's changed.
Oh, okay, I'm done. Bastard, you're saying.
See, why do you always have to laugh?
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Oh yes, I was the star.
He was the star, Trevor.
Yes,
She
I
was the-
was Barnaby. Yeah, it's that guy. I'm Travis. I was one of the co-stars for Spider-Man: Lost Cause, and I suppose I was also crew in some ways.
I'm Andrew Miles, and I did the camera operating for most of the film.
Hi, my name is Heath Gleason, and I was the main visual effects artist on Spider-Man: Lost Cause.
I am Big Daddy, aka Jordan. I was a bit of everything on Lost Cause, mainly known for being an actor on it, but I did a bit of cinematography, but mainly acting on there.
My name is Joey Lever, and I was the director, producer, editor, and main lead of Spider-Man: Lost Cause.
Hey, Parker! Bring your skateboard back!
Right, let me f*** it out.
I think Spider-Man: Lost Cause, at its core, was a group of friends who had a fun idea because we liked something. And we liked it so much we wanted to pay a bit of an homage towards it.
Spider-Man: Lost Cause is, if not the most viewed fan film in the world, definitely in the top 5, definitely in the top 10. And we did it on a 0 budget. Lost Cause is now almost on 63 million views. It's just, as an indie filmmaker, like director, you don't get that views.
Before responsibility and adulthood and everything like that really took over, we still had this whimsy that carried us through. Spider-Man: Lost Cause is kind of the amalgamation of that.
Don't look at me, Andrew. Is that good? Start smiling.
It's a stamp in time and a moment in glimpse in our lives where there was a period of just unbridled, unfiltered creativity, and even if it wasn't as polished as everything else out there nowadays, especially, Spider-Man: Lost Cause is who we were, me and Joey and Travis and all of them and Andrew, as people back then.
And then it kind of just turned into, as it was going on, something just more and more interesting and more exciting. And we had a lot of fun doing it, but it started out and it continued all the way through. It was a bunch of friends having fun.
Spider-Man: Lost Cause, the highest viewed fan film ever, if I'm not mistaken. The fan film that inspired an entire generation of filmmakers in our circle, including myself. Man, I remember watching this over and over again when I was 13 years old and absolutely loving it. In the beginning, it was gushing over the swinging scenes like everybody else did at the time, then recreating scenes in my room, like just pretending to play all the characters in the finale or whatever, and just like acting out the ending in my room. Then when it came time to actually make a movie, I copied Lost Cause a lot. Beginning with a unreleased superhero movie from 2014 that I even subtitled Lost Cause because I loved the title so much. Then for one of my first Spidey films, Spider-Man Responsibility, the best friend character Nick was who I based my friend character off of, even giving him the same exact fate by getting shot with a gun randomly. I ended up taking that friend character, changing the backstory up a little bit, making him a clone, and made him my Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider in subsequent appearances. And wouldn't you know it, Ben became the heart and soul of my Spider-Man trilogy. I even gave him the best arc and the best story in my most successful fan film to date, Spider-Man Dead No More. If it wasn't for Lost Cause, I may not have thought of that Ben Reilly idea. My first feature film passion project might not be what it is today. I may not have ever begun to create my Spider-Verse project, a movie that is so special and close to my heart as well. So, thank you to Joey and that entire original cast and crew for making something super special to me and so many other people around the world. Your contribution to this community will not be forgotten.
Have you had any criticisms for trying to do a fan film versus doing a more traditional film?
Oh man, like every single time. I don't know what it's like nowadays. I think fan films are a little more in the know, in the public domain. But when we started making Spider-Man Lost Cause, everyone started questioning us. Everyone was saying that we were wasting our time. The teachers were looking at us weirdly. Like people on the street were looking at us weirdly. Like I know for a fact when I start talking about Spider-Man Lost Cause back in the day to like filmmakers I know they judged. I know they looked at me and just was like, okay, like grow up and make an actual film now. I had a dying passion to make a Spider-Man film. And when you have a passion like this, you just gotta do it. And like, I mean, I've always wanted to be Spider-Man, right? So that's never gonna happen, so just make it happen.
Growing up as someone who wanted to be a filmmaker, there's a lot of pressure to kind of make films for the sake of going legit in the industry. Leave your pie-in-the-sky pipe dream of making a Spider-Man movie to the side and work on stuff that's going to get you a job. Because a dude from England who owns a Canon 650D cannot possibly make a Spider-Man film that will look legitimate. That is the kind of sentiment that a lot of indie filmmakers very unfortunately get, is your biggest ideas that you might be the most enthusiastic about are ones that you know you'll never end up making because you would require a budget for that. And what's so cool about Spider-Man Lost Cause is that Joey has gone on to become a legitimate filmmaker, owning his own businesses and doing a lot of client work. And yet it's partly because of the success of Spider-Man Lost Cause. This film definitely put the guy on the map. It does sell you on this British dude being Spider-Man. But better yet, it's got this tangible homemade quality which is just bound to inspire young filmmakers. Nothing here feels out of reach. The most difficult hurdle to overcome in making a film like Spider-Man Lost Cause is simply to go through with it, to have the enthusiasm that Joey Lever and his crew have. The reason why I think it's still popular and beloved all these years later, and why it was this kind of internet cultural phenomenon, is because it is the quintessential homemade Spider-Man experience. A Spider-Man movie by the people, for the people. Unashamedly, unabashedly homemade. And I think that's pretty cool.
My head really hurts. And I want to chill out for my birthday.
You're not getting another one.
Okay, walk like you've never walked before. You're walking like you've walked before.
I just want to start by saying happy 10th anniversary to Spider-Man A Lost Cause. This movie has been in my life since 2014 when I first saw the Tazza movie, and I came home and I was looking everywhere for something Spider-Man related, and then I stumbled across Spider-Man A Lost Cause. This movie has been an absolute catalyst in my career because it has influenced me into making my own Spider-Man content, even pushing me to even create my own Spider-Man fan film that I'm currently working on. I just want to say a big thank you to Joey for making this movie, because I would probably not be in the position I am right now if I hadn't seen that movie, because that movie pushed me to do things I probably would not have done if I didn't see that movie. It really helped me to develop myself as a content creator. I really hold this movie really close and dear to my heart because it has really impacted my life greatly, and I am so looking forward to seeing what Joey comes out with next. And happy 10 years to Spider-Man Lost Cause.
So the very first thing that I know of, at least, with Spider-Man Lost Cause, and this is how old we are, me and you had a Skype call, and we were talking about how it would be really cool to make a bunch of superhero films. And then you said something like you had been working on the idea of making a Spider-Man film. So like that very night, I set up the Facebook group and like...
I completely forgot about the Facebook thing because we made that group to do behind the scenes stuff and like production. I can't remember, it was like a month later, it had like 5,000 likes or something.
The very first night, genuinely, I know the very first night was we hit 20 likes. And then we were talking, because we were still in the Skype call, and we were saying stuff like, well, now we can't use it for the behind the scenes stuff, and we can't use it to talk. And it was like actually kind of annoying at the start. And then we went to bed, and I woke up, and then this is a real number as well. I know that we had 150 likes. Like after the first week, yeah, we had like several thousand likes, and we have no idea why.
Mr. Ross will be pleased. Looks like Mark isn't here to cramp our style. And then Joey comes in. Where is that boy?
Action. Now look up dramatically.
Oh my god, it's fun!
You were talking about filming some stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, what kind of stuff are you filming? And you told me about Lost Cause and that, and then I was like, oh, that sounds right. And so, oh, do you want to help out? I'm like, yeah, I got fucking nothing to do at the minute.
I'm sorry.
At the time, yeah, I'm not an actor by any means necessary, but I thought, I think you guys needed more bad guys. I think it was what it was. Like, you wanted to film a scene with a bad guy, you didn't have, and I was like, oh, I'll do it. I don't mind. And then from there's like, what bad guy could we be? And I was like, oh, well, what about just making me Rhino? Because I'm a fucking big boy. So I thought, I'll be like the guy who's supposed to become Rhino or something. He can be an Easter egg, which we put in actually at the end, didn't we?
Yeah, you were good. I remember, like, I was watching the film the other day. You were good. You're a good actor, Jordan.
Thank you.
You are. No, you genuinely are. No, genuinely.
I appreciate it.
I was making my own Spider-Man fan film called Hero, and eventually I got to the point with my visual effects where I was getting a little bit more confident. Certainly all right for a high schooler, and Spider-Man Lost Cause was the only trailer that I saw for anything that was coming out in the fan film world where I felt legitimately like it was technically proficient. And so I reached out to him and I said, hey, I really like what you got going on. I think it looks amazing. Then we started talking, I guess, mostly because whatever I sent him was compelling enough for him to be like, okay, let's push this a little further as a friendship and a working relationship. And then it did turn into a friendship. And then he eventually became one of my best friends.
So I was brought onto the project in probably not the best of circumstances. Unlike Joey and a few of our other friends, I didn't really follow them to university at the time because I was not exactly in the best headspace at that time period. Like, my dad had just passed away and I knew that going to university was a bad idea. Out of everyone, Joey was one of the only people who kept in contact with me at the time, whereas everyone else pretty much didn't speak to me at that time period. And he asked, like, hey, I've got this role for you, and Travis, you're a bit weird and a bit strange sometimes. Do you want to be the villain for this Spider-Man fan film? And I was like, yeah, I miss hanging out with you guys. So I was more than happy to come along and just be around my friends again.
So tonight we're back in one of the main locations of Lost Cause, where myself as Spider-Man and Travis as Nightshade had our first ever fight. It's insane being back here because I've not been back here for about 12 years personally. We're in the middle of a small English town and it's really cool just to see that barely anything has changed. Everything's exactly the same. This is the poles I used to hang off. This is where me and Travis had our final little argument. Over there is where I webbed Jordan down. Over here was where we had our first communication and chat. And just here, this is the kind of the craziest bit actually, because these weren't actually here before, because we were actually going to spend tonight recreating this scene. But I can't get up there as Spider-Man. So yeah, these weren't here and we was up there. And it's amazing to see, because Travis will talk about it in a minute, but the limitations we had in this scene because it was so dark. We used these lights here to naturally light ourselves. It's so cool being here, and it's weird. It's weird being here.
It's so dark here. It is so dark here that I don't know how we filmed it. We actually have lights now, but I remember one time where if you live in England, there is a point where these lights will cut off. And it was the last shot of the day. And just as we were about to finish, that light, gone. And I just remembered us all just going.
Because, for context, we were using that light as the main source.
So, like, we needed it. So we had to come back another day just to finish the scene. LEDs weren't really a thing back then. And because I was mostly acting, I just had to watch everyone work. And I remember Joey bringing his car all the way round and shooting it directly towards us. And in order to diffuse the light, he just ripped off his white t-shirt and put it over the headlights. But we never worried about what we didn't have. We just went and did it.
Yeah, there was a lot of limitations for making the film. So the biggest problems that we had was the we didn't have any stabilizations on the camera. There was no focusing.
You can't just make someone stop.
What did you say now? Sorry, I twist it the wrong way every single time.
Get out!
Okay, you're doing well. And you're not in focus. Yeah. I love it. Right. No, stop. I need to focus.
We prefer the term intellectual badass.
Like anything that's got any movement of the camera, that probably took like 20 takes because we were just trying to figure out the fastest and easiest way of like keeping the camera so it's not ridiculously shaky. It was a small 550D, so there wasn't enough space to have someone else helping with the focusing. So there was a lot of shots where like you can probably see it in the film, but like I'm clearly just running along, trying to keep someone in focus with one hand and trying to keep the camera facing in the right direction with the other hand.
Unfortunately, one of the limitations we had was our own education and time. Every film is going to have problems. Every film has them. Let alone a student film, which is what it was at the time as a student, because we're all students, with like £50, if that, budget, no kit. We bought like most of the kit was borrowed from the university we're doing. There was like maybe one or two actual professional actors in there for the first Lost Cause. So it was literally just friends and family. Most of it was in public because we couldn't go to places until we got used to producing, which was something we did during the university course as well, because we didn't know what to do. Like half the stuff in that film that we were doing, we ended up learning more about after making it, which is annoying. I was always with these kind of films, there's always limitations. The key aspect of it is how you circumvent them or navigate them and try and work them into making it something out of nothing really.
Okay, this is going well. This is how you do it. Okay, Spider-Man Lost Cause. I've lost the fucking team already.
Come on, girl. What you doing? What you doing?
Scene 15.
Scene 15. Write it on the board.
Shot 1, take 1.
Write it on the board.
Okay.
One thing I really want to do on Spider-Man Lost Cause, you can't make a Spider-Man film without a Spider-Man swinging scene. So back then, obviously 10, 12 years ago when we started the VFX, After Effects, Blender, Cinema 4D, they were all in their infant stages. Like the things you can do today, literally impossible 10, 12 years ago. The idea of creating these swinging scenes were more of a dream than anything. That's when I scoured the internet and found Jimmy. Jimmy already created a few pre-viz Spider-Man animations, and I just thought to myself, if we can just get him on the project, we can get someone to texture it, get someone to light it, we'll be able to create the world's first ever fan Spider-Man swing scene that is the first ever on YouTube. So I messaged him, he agreed to be a part of the project, and together we created the world's first ever fan film with a swing animation.
My name is Jimmy Reyes. I'm the animator for the swinging scenes. I was brought into this project incredibly late into post-production. I was a college freshman and I had been learning to use this little indie software called Oh That's My Head. You probably never heard of it. And of course, as a Spidey fan during the hype of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was doing everything Spidey related. I was doing shitty attempts at modeling the suit and texturing, and once I found out about this thing called Mixamo Auto Rigger, I made this little animation and then uploaded it to YouTube. Then one day, this guy named Joey Lever contacts me on YouTube saying, "Dude, I love your animation. We're working on this fan film, and would you like to be a part of it, do some swinging scenes for it?" To which I said, yourselves. Nah, I said sure. And then we got started. He showed me pictures of the suit so I can model it, and you know, he wanted me to at least do 2 fully CG swinging scenes, like one in the day, one in the night, because you know, there's 2 suits in that film. As someone who started learning the software, it seemed pretty easy, you know, just grab a Spider-Man model I found online, tweak the textures a little bit, slap it into Mixamo, start animating, no biggie. And the challenges started piling on. Now you think my biggest challenges would be making the city, texturing it, lighting it, and rendering it, and you are right. So I did what any beginner does, look for tutorials and plugins to make it easier. Nowadays there's tons of plugins and real-time render engines, like Blender's been killing it with geometry nodes and endless add-ons, and Unreal with Nanite and Lumen. And back in 2014, however, I had a few plugins and Maya's good old Viewport 2.0. I hate that software. But even with all of that, my biggest enemy in this battle has to be procrastination. The deadline was getting closer, and I still had nothing to show for. So due to my own stupidity, I introduced myself to my first crunch time. At that time, I panicked. I tried to start animating. I stayed up late for many nights, hoping for Maya to not crash the render. Getting it to render it on layers like Joey asked me, and finally, I sent it. On the very last day on August 25, cutting it a little close. And when the time came to see the film and watch my scenes playing with this triumphant score by Jascha, I gotta say I was pretty fucking hyped to work on a Spider-Man film.
How's it feel to be back in the suit again?
It's surreal, man. It's I don't know, it's a bit emotional, right? It's how we started. Number one, I can't believe it still fits. It still fits. I'm excited. This feels good, man. This feels right.
So this film came out in 2014, and back then I must have been 6, I think. And I saw this film and I genuinely thought it was a real film. And obviously I watched fan films at that time. Yeah, I watched fan films when I was that age. But I didn't believe this was a fan film because of how awesome it looked. It looked like professional. And the best part was, it was made in the UK and on a low budget. Now I know that doesn't sound much, that was made in the UK. Oh, it was made in the UK, so what? Well, it's kind of like a big deal to me because most fan films I saw at the time, and still now, are from America. When I saw this, I was like, what? He makes fan films and I want to make fan films? I can do this. So that's what inspired me to make my own fan films, and still to this day I still make fan films.
In Spider-Man Lost Cause, there's a scene where we first ever see the suit. Obviously back then we had not the best cameras, not the best lighting, we didn't have the best sound. It was all 2D composited, it was all green screen because we were too scared to go on rooftops. Today we're going to reimagine that scene, rethink it, and do what we do today in 2024 with our new cameras, with our updated gear, with our updated knowledge, and we're just going to try our hardest to just reimagine the scene, and I'm so excited to do so today.
Yep. This is the life.
Oh, this is so awesome. Oh wow, just so fucking cool. God damn it. Wow. Right, I think it's building time. You, right. I am gonna hang on you. I'm gonna swing and stuff, living life. Gotta take it back up first. You know, like health and safety and stuff. Okay, right. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. God damn it! It actually worked. Yes! Come on! Yes! Oh! Okay. Task 1 complete. Do one straight swing. Task 2. Can we do multiple? Then task 3. Land safely on my feet and get a midnight coffee. Easy peasy. 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Woo-hoo! Woo! Don't mind me! Fight the laws of gravity! Oh, hey! Oh no! No! Ah!
This is Spider-Man Vendetta. It is the third film in a trilogy, with the second film coming out in 2019 called Broken Identity, and the first film coming out in 2017 called Synergy. I don't think this would be a thing without Spider-Man Lost Cause. I know a lot of creators that admire Joey and Lost Cause, and Another World for that matter, that make films because of that film. And I think the beauty is that he was one of the first, and Lost Cause is one of the first films, and also is like one of the biggest fan films on the entirety of YouTube, which is absolutely nuts. I think despite Lost Cause not being the first ever Spider-Man fan film, it definitely set the bar. I think you can watch as many as you want on YouTube, and there are remnants or little like hints or just traces of Lost Cause in it. I mean, like 65 million views. There's no way people who make these films haven't seen it and haven't been inspired by it. I love Spider-Man Lost Cause. I can still watch it to this day. And even though I imagine people like Joey and his team might look back on it and think we could do better, for the time it was released, it was really like nothing anyone had ever seen to come out of a fan project. I'm Nate from Film Studios, and I'm absolutely honoured to be part of the celebration of the Lost Cause 10-year anniversary.
One of the most important things about filmmaking, especially for a film like this, is the music. The music, I personally think, for a Spider-Man film as well, needs to be wondrous, it needs to be spectacular, it needs to be beautiful. And when I was looking for someone for this project, I wanted them to have the emotion, talents, and epicness of Hans Zimmer, and of course the quality of a blockbuster film. Is that too much to ask for a quick little Spider-Man project? No, because we found Jascha, one of the most incredible musicians I have ever worked with. The talent this guy brought to the film is still talked about this day.
Hi, my name is Jascha. I'm the composer for Spider-Man Lost Cause, and I had the pleasure of writing a little film score. I got brought onto the project when I got a message on YouTube from Joy, and he asked me if I could step into big footsteps because the actual composer, who was someone who I admired, was instrumental core. I got the honor to do the soundtrack because I knew it's like a responsibility to do a soundtrack, like a full feature-length film score. Yeah, the movie was already pretty far in progress, so normally you have like a big team. I guess we all somehow did it. I wanted to prove myself if I could do it. I took the challenge and I got to give it my own touch. It was actually also the first soundtrack I ever wrote for like a whole movie. Of course, it was a little bit like high aimed because no budget for that at all. We didn't have the option to record a real orchestra. We had to do everything by samples. Actually, I used all these libraries where I could play all these orchestral instruments that are based on real instruments that are like, okay, I play now like the first oboe and then like the second violins and then the French horn and everything here on my keyboard actually. And yeah, so everything that you hear in the soundtrack was actually like composed and also performed by myself. Every voice of the orchestra, and the difference between me and like Hans Zimmer would be that he would have the option to record a real orchestra, and that is also like always part of it, because you have a certain quality that goes along with it. And we had already spoken about a certain language music-wise, Joey and I. We of course wanted to find our own sonic identity, but also had like a very own character, like the more dark part that is also part of Spider-Man Lost Cause, sometimes a little bit more grown up. Also tried to implement that into the music, and there were many colors, I guess, to the score. So since I was completely free at doing the score, they let me basically do and thrive and play around. I could be creative and develop all these themes, like a main theme and a villain theme, a hero theme, a love theme. The kind of soundtrack I like to hear. Yeah, sometimes people say the best score is the one that you don't hear, but I sometimes like it when you hear the score. You need to find a certain balance to that, I guess. And yeah, I was just doing the best I could. Definitely remember I had some limitations regarding my computer. I guess I had like 4 gigs of RAM when I did the score. Today I'm glad that I don't have issues anymore with RAM. Yeah, I guess we got a lot of love and appreciation from people, and that was something nobody really expected in that dimension, I guess. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Kors Gilbeck and I am a pop culture content creator. Now, Spider-Man Lost Cause will always have a special place in my heart, as it was the first ever movie that I did a reaction video on.
Joey, this is a message to you. I am slightly obsessed with your movies.
And after seeing all the engagement I got from it, Joey reacting to the video himself.
You are a great human being, and thank you so much for taking some time to watch these films.
It just inspired me to make so much more content. I made videos about theories on what could happen in the next Spider-Man movie. I was speaking to other people that I've never met before about how good this Spider-Man movie is. This movie was made with so much joy and passion that it inspired me to be the person I am today. And as corny as it sounds, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Spider-Man Lost Cause.
Let's just talk about that little disappearing trick you did.
Oh, fear.
Wait, how did you?
Just you wait, kid.
Just for this special occasion today, we have Nightshade with us. Okay, so on behalf of the whole internet, I have many, many questions for you. Okay? Question 1. So Travis, where did you go to acting school?
Your mom's house.
Okay, fantastic. I've heard that's a great place to learn. What was your inspiration for the voice? I want a full-fledged answer for this, by the way. I need to know.
Pubs in the 1940s.
The whole internet needs to see this, by the way. And me, I need to see this one last time, because it's the greatest line I've ever written, but you've ever performed. Can you please perform the line?
Nothing is more powerful than a gunshot.
Nothing is more powerful than a gunshot. Take it away.
Nothing is more powerful than a gunshot.
That was beautiful. It felt like I was there. Last question. This is personally for Travis, not Nightshade.
Oh, hi.
Who hurt you?
The cruel sting of many orphans.
That makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what I do want to say, Travis, is I'm very excited for you to be back in the suit.
Hi.
It's not just me who wore a cool suit on this film. Travis also wore one, but we never saw it. So what I want to do this time, Travis, is make you a cool little villain montage. Is that okay?
No, we never agreed to this.
No, we're absolutely making a villain montage. Trey,
Joey,
cue
I
the
don't
music.
have hair!
Oh, and you guys thought we weren't going to do some Spider-Man remakes? Cue the music.
Probably gonna have to, yeah, we're probably gonna take that off. The light's not helping. I'm gonna keep this brief. I'm currently working on the music for this documentary, but I just wanted to give everybody my 2 cents. Spider-Man Lost Cause dropped 10 years ago. I was 14 when it came out, and it could not have been more inspirational, influential in my life. With other fan films that were made by folks like Roger King and Dan Poole, Joey was the new guy. And it could not have come out at a better time. I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man just came out and people were dying for Spider-Man media, myself including. And without Spider-Man Lost Cause, I mean, we probably would not have had the resurgence that we did. Spider-Man fan films blew up after Lost Cause came out. And with the announcement that Lost Cause was gonna get a sequel, it was crazy. I mean, everyone was just like freaking out, you know? And then there was one day where Joey went on Instagram and was saying that he wanted some help. He wanted to look out for some artists. And I had reached out and I was like, hey man, I would love to make some art for Lost Cause. I think that'd be super cool. And that discussion on art slowly became a discussion about music, about joining the team and creating a score for Spider-Man Another World. Joey said yeah, and I was able to work with some amazing folks to make Another World happen. I was just so, my breath was just taken away from me. I was so excited to be a part of this universe. And now I get to keep doing that. I get to make music day in and day out for folks who are making their own universes, who are building their own Spider-Man stories, and that is an amazing thing. From the OGs that brought us some of the most influential Spider-Man fan films, Green Goblin's Last Stand, Peter's Web, Joey Lever stands up there with Spider-Man Lost Cause. You guys single-handedly were able to revive an entire community of folks who just wanted to see themselves as Spider-Man. You inspired hundreds and thousands of folks to just do what they love to do. And that's an amazing thing. To you all, thank you. And to those of you watching right now, I hope you guys like the music. I'm gonna get back to work.
What are your fondest memories of Lost Cause?
The fondest memories I had with Lost Cause were just being with my friends and just making content like we used to when we were in college, where we got to try and focus on creating something at the time bigger than ourselves. So just being around them and just being creative again was great.
My favorite memory, and it happened twice in the time that I filmed with you, we knocked over a light. We cleaned up the light because it's exploded and the dust filled the room.
Oh my god, yeah, so was at my house. We were filming green screen stuff. One of the lights broke, all this weird dust went everywhere. We're like, I should be fine. Went in school the next day, and then John was teaching us about these lights.
And they were like, oh yeah, that's super poisonous.
And me and Andrew just looked at each other like...
It couldn't have been more perfect either, like, just the day after. So yeah.
Some of my fondest memories of the movie are those moments of just complete unbridled creativity that it's untethered to any kind of practicality or any kind of planning or any kind of forethought. And yet it's genuinely, it's some of the more fun stuff in the movie because we didn't put any planning into it. We didn't think about it for 3 years before we did it. We just kind of did it. And that was kind of one of those things that made making fan films in that climate at that moment more fun than it otherwise would be today. And the majority of the visual effects process was him just saying, I kind of want this montage, and me going, another montage? And then him just being like, yeah, mate, let's figure it out. Let's figure out what we can do for the montage. And then we would just spend like a week and a half of him just on a green screen, like pretending he's on top of rooftops and then jumping down the roof. There's this one shot where he jumps off the top of a roof, and it just looks so bad because I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But at the time, I thought it was really cool. And everything was done inside of After Effects. I was just still trying to figure out After Effects, so it was really fun.
The final scene that I was in the film with was when you broke out, and it was me and Richard who had come for help out as well. And just as a whim, during one of the takes, I just started mumbling about the things I do for love. The things I do for love, you stupid idiot. And then it wasn't until in the actual film you put that take in. I want to know how many people would actually catch this, like, hang on a minute, the thing I do for, was he in a relation with that guard? Who really just met that guard? And the doors kept bloody closing because there were those swinging, they had to put a lock on them. So they just kept on having to open the door and pull through.
I'm just like, do it again! Do it again!
No, you don't say do it again. This is Joey, the way you direct it.
Yeah,
you say,
perfect.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Do it again.
What? That was perfect.
Fondest memories. You know what? Lost Cause was probably the last time I was ever like, I don't want to say truly happy on a film set, but like, it was the last time I like thoroughly enjoyed it because of the experience and people. Like, how it's a different beast when you have a crew, you have money, you have budgets, you have time constraints, you have all this. But when you have a bunch of friends and you call them up and like, hey, do you want to do page 72 today? And they're like, yeah, I'm free. And we all just meet up after school and go do it. There's something magical about that. That was probably that's my fondest memories. There's something different about that.
I guess Joy's quality was to bring the right people together who are basically driven by passion, which is certainly at that point maybe a little bit more important than everything else. The movie production itself was like the reward, and everything from the audience concerning positive feedback and all that love and all the views and everything was just basically on top. It was like the cherry on top.
That was attractive, wasn't it?
And where the... Oh, shit.
Hello. That was close. That was a close one. Right, is that alright?
Hi, I'm Nura Omar. I am one of the countless other people that Joey has inspired through Spider-Man Lost Cause. It's a film that's really important to me because it indirectly made me fall in love with filmmaking and being a VFX artist and pursuing the arts in general. Joey, through this film, helped show me that anyone can make anything as long as they put their mind to it. As long as you have the passion for it, you can do anything. And I genuinely cannot thank him and this movie enough for helping me do that.
Lost Cause was a very, very influential film to me. I had always been planning on making a Spider-Man fan film, even though I was only, if it's 10 years ago, I only would have been 16, but it's something I'd always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to be kind of like a filmmaker, and Joey and his team kind of proved that that's doable. Made a 2-hour film on a shoestring budget with his friends. And that's something that anybody can do now. It became like achieving the impossible. And thanks to that, I've met so many incredible people, including Joey himself, and I'm so fortunate to be able to call Joey a friend. Lost Cause originally came out 10 years ago, and that's around the time when my brother was going through pancreatic cancer, and so me as a high schooler, I didn't really know how to deal with that, and this kind of it gave me an outlet, a really important one, and it changed my life for the better. And even though I lost my brother, that it still felt like there was something that he knew I wanted to do, and I think he'd still be proud of me to this day. And I just, yeah, it kind of set me on this whole huge trajectory, and I just hope that I'm making him proud and that I'm making everybody else proud. Thank you. Anyway, Lost Cause is just really important. Happy 10th.
So it's easier making a fan film in 2024 than it was in 2014, but generally the best advice I can ever give you is it doesn't matter really what equipment you use to an extent, but just going out with your friends and just trying to create something almost bigger than yourself, and the journey it takes you on is kind of more important than the gear ever will matter. Gear can come later down the line, but the memories and storytelling that you'll create just over that time period is going to be the most invaluable thing you'll learn.
Just to quote Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Yeah, this is basically the answer. So just get creative. Of course, you can always complain and say, oh, I don't have all the great samples and not the great gear, and I don't have a real orchestra and blah blah blah. Maybe I also complained back then, but yeah, looking back at it, it's all that was possible, and that was fine, and just, you know, use the tools you have and do your best. And sometimes limitations are a pleasure as well. You are forced to get creative with the limited amount of tools that you have. So sometimes really features creativity.
We just did it. Just go out and do it. That's it. I mean, it's great if you can afford a better camera, but it's better to make something good and that you're passionate about than it is to make something with a massive budget. We just found each other, and we all had the same core need to make something fun and entertaining.
62 million is pretty solid. It just goes to show if you know, if that can get 62 million on that budget, and let's be honest, a rudimentary knowledge of how to make films, you know, there's no excuse why you can't do it either. Go for it.
Stop giving a crap about how people see it in you, and just go, I really want to see him fight Scorpion. How do I make that happen? And then you do it, and it really doesn't matter if it's not up to par with another fan film out there. It's not about that. People that make fan films care too much about how they're perceived, and they want to be these altruistic filmmakers, and they forget that the whole reason they wanted to do this shit was because they wanted to have fun. And I think that's something that gets lost nowadays, and I would hope that people focus back on that when they're making fan films now. But I think the climate of today it's a little less hospitable for people that don't have unobtainable resource pools. I think people that are young and impassioned and inspired have all the tools that they need to make things, but a lot of them don't have any of the resources, and that divide is going to get harder and harder and harder to compensate for.
Just be with good people, like friends, family. It's so important to have good people around you when you're making a film in general. Fan film's different because no one's making a profit. You're not getting any money from it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more harder work because there's going to be a lot more VFX involved, and you're using a different IP, so you're going to be backtracking yourself a lot. Your best camera is the one that's in your pocket. You don't need good equipment. The sound microphone on all these phones now are amazing. So much better. Like, everything is so much better than what we had in 2012 when we started filming this. Like, it's all in your pocket. You don't need good gear. It's all there.
I was just gonna say, like, if you've got an iPhone, like, it comes with iMovie in it now.
There you go.
And most people have an iPhone. Most intelligent people have an iPhone.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that me and Joey had anything to do with people wanting to get into filmmaking because of our little short films and feature films, like, that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to do when I was a little kid. I wanted to make films that inspired people. The fact that I did do that, even at like 18, means a lot to me.
I feel like Spider-Man Lost Cause embodies just the pure essence of passion. It's not just a fan film. It's the testament to the power of creativity and the drive to just do something. My kind of hope is that this project stands as like a light for people. To the people who just dare to dream beyond the norm, who are compelled by a love so deep that they must bring it to life despite all of the challenges. And my hope is that it represents the spirit of the independent filmmaker. For the filmmakers that do not have industry backing, for the filmmakers that don't have the most advanced equipment or the easiest path. The filmmakers that are fueled by determination and an unshakable belief in their vision.
So, Travis, do you have any final thoughts? How do you wrap it up? How do you wrap up the last 10 years?
I got to punch Joey on camera.
Oh, we never mentioned that. So there's a scene in the bit where I'm getting all tangled up.
Yeah, but like we created like a makeshift dungeon.
Yeah, that was your idea. Travis came to me one day and was like, "We should like tie you up and like put ropes on you and put like a mask around your mouth and everything." I was like,
yeah, then I just turned up to Syston Community Centre with like loads of screwdrivers and you just.
That wasn't even in the script. He just came with all this like dental equipment. I was like, whatever for the scene, but I was a bit scared. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, Travis, make it look like you hit me. And he goes, right in the face.
Well, unless I've got a work from prison program.
There's a sound effect in the film. It's not a sound effect.
It's Joe being hit.
It's me being hit. That was real.
So when you see the blood coming out, like some of that's real.
Yeah, I got hurt that day. I actually woke up with a massive bruise. Remember the picture? Okay, so to round up these last 10 years, I think the only thing we can really say is thank you. You have pushed this little film that we just had fun making. Because that's all it was. You've pushed it to be one of the biggest Spider-Man / Marvel / any other fan film. You've pushed it to be almost number one, somewhat number one, top 10. Like, and that's insane, isn't it? Like 63 million views. Counting Another World, 72 million views.
And it's just made with friends and made with love. So you too can make things with your friends if you've got love and friendship.
Is that really how we're ending this? You're somewhat right. The thing is, like, I got really emotional every single time. Someone uploaded a Lost Cause review a few days ago.
Someone's dubbed it in Spanish as well.
Yeah, mate. There's so many things that people have done, like with this film. It genuinely warms my heart. And even like the people that have sent in the little clips for the documentary, like even they're just stunning. Like some of them have even made me cry, man. Like the fact that this little project we did with a group of friends just warmed so many hearts, changed a few people's path into filmmaking. It genuinely is. There's nothing you can say. Like, if anything, like, yeah, we should be thanking them.
We should be thanking you all a lot more. And if you ever want to know when you've made it as a fan film, I'll tell you the point that we actually realised that we knew we made it. It was when we found out that Lost Cause was on Pirate Bay.
Yes! That was the best time of my life. That was cool. I even watched it. I pirated my own film.
You are filth.
I am disgusting. Right, come on, Travis, let's make Spider-Man 3.
Coming 2025.
No! No!
Is everyone ready? You just tell me when you're recording. Final scores, scene 15, shot 1, take 1.
Personally, what does Lost Cause mean to me? Pretty much everything. We just dropped our possibly final Spider-Man fan film titled Spider-Man Vendetta. I pitched it to him back in 2017 after seeing Lost Cause and just being absolutely just blown away. How can people do this with like no money? Just made me believe that I can bring Spider-Man to life as well.
Off in order on bases. Okay, that's sexy.
Wait, don't let it take briefcase. Oh wait.
I'm saying it.
Because you know, I always hear Fiona job today, right?
All the actors and all the team is clearly putting their all into this project to make the best Spider-Man project they possibly could. It is so clear how much heart and effort they put into this fan film, which is why it still holds up to be one of the best fan films of all time today.
I can use that. I'll be that bad.
Come on, this is production time, man, guys. Come on. You were laughing. Harry Osborn. Dang it.
I never even knew what a fan film was until I stumbled upon Lost Cause. Lost Cause helped inspire me to create my cosplays and put them up on the internet, because before I didn't think making fan films were even possible for just average ordinary people.
You know Craig can get away. Wait, did we do that long ago? What?